Hi there. Thanks for joining us here at Builderall Digital Marketing Solutions. My name's Carla, and I'm going to be your host for this tutorial. Today's tutorial is how to build your website in the Cheetah drag and drop website builder. It's a very simple process, and it's going to take probably about a half hour to 45 minutes for us to get a website built with a couple of pages in it. Before we go too far though, I want to ensure that my tutorial is accessible to everybody from the experienced user to somebody who is extremely new to digital marketing. And I want to define a website as a series of web pages. The typical website has at least 2 pages. We'll talk more about that later. But I just want you to know that in our building of our site today, you will have everything that you need to either expand this site and add more pages to it, or to build another site completely from scratch. Okay, so you'll be well on your way to being on the internet by the end of this tutorial. One of the things that I recommend when I teach people about building websites is that I recommend that you plan your site. And I know that that sounds like a no-brainer, right? And maybe you're thinking to yourself, well, no, I know what my business is and I know what I want to do, and let's build. But before we do that, what I want to do is I want to explore a couple of things. First of all, what type of site are you building today? Are you building a personal site or are you building a professional site? Is your professional site intended to sell a product or to give information or a combination of the two? Okay. The other question that you will probably be asking yourself, if you're not already thinking this way, you will be within the week of using the first week you use Builderall. What kind of site are you building? Are you building a traditional website or are you building a funnel website? If you don't know the difference between those two, don't worry, you're going to know in the next minute. A traditional website is the type that you're in the habit of using when you search the internet for a product or for a service, and you get to a website and you navigate using the menu at the top of the screen where you want to go on the website. If you get to a page and you don't want to go there and you want to go back, you hit the back button and you have a lot of control about where you move in the website. That's a traditional website or a standard website. A funnel website is a website that is designed to move the visitor of your site from the sales page, the landing page, all the way through to the thank you for doing whatever it was I wanted you to do. And they don't have control, they don't have much control over where they go on the page. There's not a menu bar at the top. They can control where they go based on the actions that they take in the page. If they fill in certain information, then they'll get routed this way. If they input their credit card number, they'll get routed that way. Either way, hopefully ending up at a thank you page if I teach you well today. So those are a couple of considerations that I encourage before you start building a site. Now, if you are of a mind that you just want to start building the site and figure out the rest later, that's one way to do it. But it helps to have an end goal in mind. So in addition to thinking about what kind of page you're building, I want you to think about who your audience is. If this is your personal page, for example, I have several pages on Builderall, several websites built on Builderall. And if this is a personal website, then maybe your target audience is people who already know you, or people who read your blog. If you're a blogger and this is your personal site where you host your blog, perhaps it's somebody who shares a similar hobby and they find you through a search engine based on something that you wrote about in your personal site. But if you're building a professional site, then you want to make sure that your vocabulary choice, the terminology that you use, all the way down to the font that you use, is going to be pleasing to the person who visits your site, or attractive to the person who visits your site, or engaging to the person who visits your site. There are different sort of rules of etiquette on a professional site in regards to how much animation is on the site or how much splash and color is on the site based on perhaps your profession or whether or not you have a sale going on, a variety of considerations, okay? So that's why I'm saying just think in advance before you build your site about what your goal is, who your target audience is, and not only what you want to get out of your site, but what you want your customers and visitors to get out of your site, okay? One of the ways that I find it helpful to do that is to do a paper outline, if you will. And in my outline, my bullet points in my outline often will end up being my menu headers. For the site that we're going to build today, it's going to be a very simple site. While I'm building, I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about some of the options that you have as far as expanding your site so that you will be able to build a site that has, if you want 52 pages on your site, that's your privilege and your possibility with the Cheetah Builder. One of the things that I really love about Builderall as a digital marketing platform is that one has an unlimited number of websites available to them in the Cheetah platform, in the Cheetah Builder, or in the Pixel Perfect Builder. I'm not going to address the Pixel Perfect Builder today. We're working on Cheetah. So one of the things I recommend as part of the planning process is that I recommend that you type out some descriptions, type out some keywords if you know how to do search engine optimization. If you don't, we're going to touch on that a little bit today. So you'll have a little bit of base knowledge and you'll be able to get yourself recognized in search engines. This is not an in-depth tutorial about that, but that's coming in the future. Okay. I'm going to jump into my screen share here and I'm going to go to the Builderall virtual office. And I'm going to come to the top of the page is where the Cheetah drag and drop website builder is. And they actually updated the name and took out the drag and drop part, but it is a drag and drop builder. So I clicked on the enter button and I came into the Cheetah homepage. And on the Cheetah homepage, you'll see the sites that you have published and the sites that you have unpublished. And what you might see is simply a white box that says create new site. If you're part of my downline or if you've been receiving funnels or sales pages from other Builderall representatives in their tutorials or in their webinars, then you will find those in the unpublished section of your Cheetah homepage. Now, I'm going to take a moment to say here that YouTube is not the only resource for Builderall. It is one wonderful, wonderful resource, and your Builderall affiliate that you signed up under is not the only resource for you, although I'm sure that that is a wonderful resource. But the Builderall affiliates there's an official Facebook page that I encourage you to connect with, and the different affiliates have their own Facebook pages, and I recommend that you connect with those people because they host webinars and they host tutorials, and they are fonts of information. And I will never be able to say enough how much I appreciate the longevity of the Builderall affiliates that are teaching us how to make this platform amazing for our personal sales and also for us in selling Builderall. I respect so many things about Builderall, and that's a whole nother tutorial, a whole nother webinar. So let's don't go down that rabbit hole because it is deep and vast how much I love Builderall. That's a long webinar. All right, let's go ahead and jump into create new site. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a website for a product that I sell. And this, I'm going to call it the Tower Garden test site. Okay, you'll see I have a Tower Garden site here. Um, but we're going to make this a test site or a tutorial site or something, okay? So what you'll see when you click on the create new site, and you'll see this no matter which subheading you use, whether you have it in published or unpublished, it will look like this if you click create new site. If you're working from an existing site that you've downloaded to your home page, then the process for modifying the pages will be the same, but building a funnel is a different tutorial. I'm going to leave that for another moment. There are two different options when you start to build your web page in Cheetah. And before I go much further, I want to let you know that a couple of things that we're going to learn is we're going to learn the difference between these templates. We're going to learn how to build our sites in each of these templates. And then we are going to you've already learned the difference between the different types of web pages, and you will in the rest of this tutorial learn how to build to the specific needs of your web page with your goals in mind. Okay, so what we're going to do in this tutorial is we're going to start with a simple template, and then we're going to build our next website in a smart template. And they will not be the same website, just so you know. I'm going to build the smart template just organically, having just the ideas in my mind. I'm going to build the simple template using the prepared terminology and descriptions and so forth that I have already typed out. Okay. If you are ever building your own website and you click this page and you're like, yikes, I don't remember what to do next, fear not, friend, because Builderall has got tutorials here. If you click this link, if you click this, go to tutorials link, you'll be led to a list of different tutorials. And once you click that, the tutorial that you're interested in, you'll be guided to a video tutorial. You can also click the support button and send a ticket or ask a question. And something that I would like to recommend that you do before if you haven't built a page in a while, before you build a new page, is check on the latest updates. And the reason that I suggest that is because the developers at Builderall are constantly upgrading the different platforms and the different tools based on user feedback. And I'm not saying that because somebody said that to me. I'm saying that from personal experience. I have typed questions into chat or concerns into chat or challenges into chat. And a few weeks, sometimes a few months later, there will have been an update in the Cheetah Builder that addresses that concern. And one of the best examples of that is the new e-commerce feature in the super checkout. We're going to talk about that a little bit. We're going to touch on that here, but we're also going to touch on that in the Making Money on Builderall tutorial. And we will actually add products when we do the super checkout tutorial. So definitely look for those, and I will link to those in the description area of this tutorial. So if you're looking for those, then just check those links out. Okay. So for the moment, we're going to jump right into a simple template, and I'm going to choose a blank template. But before I do that, I'm going to show you how you can preview templates in Cheetah. I told you this was going to be a 45-minute webinar. That might have been a misspeak. If you have to stop watching for some reason, I hope you'll jump back in when you're able to. So one of the nice things about the Cheetah Builder is that it is really user-friendly for everybody, from the experienced coder, website designer, to the person who has had a small home business and they are just taking their first steps into the world of online marketing. Okay. And one of the ways that Cheetah makes it easy is that there are a variety of different kinds of templates. And what you will see here is on the left side of your screen is a list of the different types of templates that you can find in the Cheetah Builder. You'll see that there are business funnels. Remember that funnels are pages that take somebody from where they land into your site to where you want them to go based on action that they take, but it doesn't allow them freedom of movement using a menu, okay? Perhaps you want to build an e-course. I am an empowerment coach in one of my businesses, and part of my empowerment coaching business is that I do offer e-courses. And so this is a great template to use if if you want to offer e-courses, but you're not quite sure how to design it, then you can choose a course page and the template will walk you through. Okay. You can preview a page or you can preview a page by clicking on it and by clicking on the topic, the heading, and then choosing one of the pages and previewing the page. Now, while we're here, I'm going to tell you that if we were in the editor, everything on this page, every single thing on this page would be customizable. Even though you're seeing a color scheme of a dark lavender and gray, if that's not the color scheme that matches your business and matches your branding, you have 100% customization capability. And so I just want you to know that, okay? Because we're in the previewer, I can't show you how to edit any of that, but don't worry about it because I'm gonna show you how to do that later, all right? So I'm gonna go ahead and exit out of this preview. And you can see if you click on the other preview, there's another color scheme. You can see that the basic difference between these two pages looks like it's color scheme, but in other pages you'll see, or in other niches, you'll see that there are vast differences. For example, if you wanted to maybe do cosmetic funnel pages, you can see that you have a whole lot of options. Well, there's only beard treatment. It seems like there's a bias toward beard treatment here, but all of this is customizable. So if you don't have a beard or you don't take care of beards, but you're perhaps an esthetician or a beautician, or perhaps you're a stylist, you could modify this page to meet your needs, okay? What we're going to do for the purposes of this tutorial is we're going to start with a blank page. And the reason that I'm choosing that option is because I feel like if you can build it from the base up, then you can take a pre-made template and modify it for yourself because you'll have all the skills. Besides that, when we go into the smart template, I'm going to show you how you can modify some of the existing elements of a page. Okay, so I'm going to just go ahead and select this page, this site, because that's that's the site I've chosen. And I will go ahead and click save on this. This is confirming that the site will be automatically published and I'll be able to access the settings. Okay, now what that means is that Cheetah is essentially, by publishing this, they are applying the changes that I've made. So I've changed from not having a site to having a site. And I have, perhaps you'll see in a little while when we make some changes and we click save, then it will publish those changes to the site immediately. Okay. If you are connected to the internet with your site, and you want to go ahead and continue to work on your site and save your changes, but not update your website until all the changes are complete, then you don't have to click publish. But if you want the site to update every single time, then you'll go ahead and click publish. And I'll talk to you about what I mean. I'll expand upon that a little bit more in a minute, okay? So now that we've clicked this create site, we are in the home page of our site. Before we were in the Cheetah homepage, when we had kind of our back office, if you will, of all of our sites. Now we're in the website homepage, okay? That might be a little bit confusing for some people when you see words repeated in different places. So that's why I'm mentioning that, because I know that when you're new to a platform or you're new to a skill, sometimes it can be a little bit overwhelming. So just remember that right now, when we're seeing our home page and we're seeing a menu bar that says my pages with a website overview, you're in the home page for the website that you're working on. Okay, pardon me, I'm gonna grab a sip of my water here. Um, You'll see on this menu bar that there are a variety of options, including your site settings, where you can set the name of your website. You can, and we'll do all of that in a moment. You can set your keywords for the website, describe your website, so on and so forth. Your script settings, you're going to use that if you're a coder, and we're not going to touch on that today because that's actually not my area of expertise. I would hate to teach you something incorrect. If you're interested in learning more about that, definitely search about it in the knowledge base. We will talk about SEO settings, or search engine optimization settings. That includes things like the way you describe your page and the keywords that you use. You have an opportunity here to split test your site, and I'm going to mention briefly what that is, but beyond this quick definition, I'm not going to touch upon it today. A split test is something that you can use if you're looking at making changes to your product line, or the way that you're presenting your course, or the name that you're going to use for your course. If you're trying to rebrand, if you want to test your new brand for either your business or your products within your business, you can keep your page active that you currently have running, and you can also run simultaneously based on which advertising your visitor has clicked on to get to you. You can test the different components, whatever you're testing, side by side, and look at which one garnered the best conversions, if you will. So that took you from having a visitor to having a purchaser. Okay. The global elements are features of the page that you will want, that you can apply across the board to all of your pages. We are going to talk about the global elements of headers and footers in this tutorial. Very briefly, we're also going to expand upon them more in another tutorial. I actually don't input my headers and footers from this particular place in Cheetah. I use another method. I'll explain to you why, but there's nothing wrong with this method. It's a matter of personal preference. I'm not going to talk too much about pop-ups because honestly, I'm not an expert in that, and I don't want to mislead you. We're going to talk a little bit about headers and footers in just a moment. And those are the things that, well, I guess it's a good time now, right? A header is a part of your page that you see at the top of the page. Often it has your menu bar. Perhaps it might have your logo. A footer is at the bottom of the page, and typically that's where you'll see your legal information. Perhaps you might see a lead capture component for people to sign up for an email list. That might be where you see a contact us page, and sort of not necessarily a menu, but the links page where they can click on all the different places in your website. Okay. The GDPR settings are privacy settings, and they are essential to know about and essential to incorporate if you're doing business in the United Kingdom. They are optional in other places right now. I typically incorporate GDPR boxes in my web pages because I really want to be global. And the only way I can do that is to prepare myself to be global. The super checkout is where you will sell your products on in Cheetah. And this includes several different features, a one-off sales option where you can just put a product that's always available on your website. It could also be a service. It could be a digital or a physical product. In one of my websites, I have tutoring sessions. In another website, I have empowerment coaching sessions. And in yet another website, I have my book available um, on my books website. You also have the option to open an e-store here in the super checkout. I'm not going to go into too much detail because you cannot really configure a product in or go into too much detail about setting up a product in super checkout unless you're actually doing that. And we're not going to do that today. Okay. That will be a subsequent tutorial and it will be within the next 5 tutorials that I produce. If you have a blog, you can incorporate it here. If you don't have a blog, you can create it here. And the browser notification allows you to set up a request so that visitors to your page get asked. I'm sure you've experienced this before. Revealing Optimal Wellbeing wants to notify you of when they upload information, and then your users can click yes or no or accept or decline. And this is a really wonderful way to engage customers and visitors to your page. If you are a blogger, if you are somebody who updates information frequently to your page, then you and you want your customers to come back and see what you're doing, the more often you can get customers to your page, the more likely you are to make a conversion if you're trying to sell things. Okay. The social proof, it is a feature that Cheetah offers so that people can see that your social media is really active. It's not just a kind of a dummy page. Okay. I mean, anybody can put a social media link down at the bottom of their page, but if that's just a page that never gets checked, never gets looked at, then it's not, it doesn't function as a way of sort of giving you credibility on the internet, right? The booking feature is a way for your customers and clients to book your services if they want to. You see here that you can connect a domain from this menu on the website homepage. You can also transfer websites. If you've received a website from me, then you may have received it this way if you didn't download it from a link. Also, if you've received a website from another affiliate, it may have come like this. It's an opportunity for you to send your sites and your funnels to other Builderall users. The site map allows you to look at your site and see where things are. We'll give that a quick click. Well, I don't have anything to show because I don't have any pages built, but this is just sort of the code of your map. Okay. I'm sorry, the code of your web page, your website. You can also go to your website and see it from the user perspective. So right now we're in the back office end, in the builder end. We're under the hood, if you will. But if you want to see what the visitor to your site will see, then you can go to the website. And I recommend that you do visit your website pretty regularly. Just especially if you're making changes or if you have a virtual assistant working with you, not that they're not perfectly 100% qualified, but just make sure that your site is sending the message that you want to send. And you can also go back to home, and that will take you to the back office of Cheetah. Okay. So here we are in the website homepage for this Cheetah site. Let me take another quick swig of water, and then I'm going to start building. I'm going to put that down in a place where I won't kick it. I hope you are enjoying the view of beautiful San Diego behind me. It's where I live, and I am an amateur photographer and enjoy using my pictures as my backgrounds. If you are interested in some of my photography for your virtual backgrounds or for you to use in your videos, then please do reach out to me at software@carlalwarnock.com. I'll be happy to work with you to get you what you're looking for. If you have a particular niche that you need, I can definitely create something that works for you. I did not intend to have an advertisement in there, but I would be remiss if I did not plug the things that I do. One of the things that I love about Builderall is that it does allow me the opportunity and allows you the opportunity to really branch out in the ways that you create income stream for yourself. And if you want to know more about that, I have a tutorial about that too. So check the links in the description. All right, what we're going to do is we're going to go to the website overview to start. Well, that's not what I meant to do. I meant to go to the site settings. That's what I meant to do. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to type in the title of my this title of my site. I'm going to call it Tower Garden Test, and I'm just going to copy that so that I can put it in a couple of different places. I want to put it in the title. I think I want to do this. And then I want to give myself, I have to have a URL. So I'm going to, I will show you where to find the URL. If you don't have one, I do have one. But if you don't have one, then let me save this so I don't lose it. What you can do is you can come to the homepage of the site that you're working on, and you go to the website page, and I'm moving my chat window out of the way all the time. I hope that's not confusing to you all. And then what you can do is you can just click on this address and click copy. And then I just exit out of that actually, so that I don't have so many pages open. One of the things that I've noticed is when I'm doing tutorials, when I'm doing webinars, sometimes I open too many pages and it's hard for me to navigate them because of the menu bar. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come back into the site settings, and I've got my name, and now I'm just going to paste that web address. I'm going to come down here and describe my site. And what I've already done is I have a Word document that allows me to describe my site. And I'm just going to, none of these are actually a really good description. It's very important when you're describing your website to be clear about what your site does, because that will affect how you show up in search engine rankings. I'm going to type this really quick and I'll talk more about that while I'm building. Okay. Let's see. Tower, I don't know if you saw that actually before I typed anything. Builderall had this is a description of my site, so it tells you what you're supposed to do there, okay? If I hadn't put anything in there, then that's what would have remained in there. And when somebody searched for Tower Gardens, I wouldn't come up because Tower Gardens isn't in there. So I'm gonna put Tower Garden is a vertical aeroponic gardening system that allows you to grow organic vegetables year round. Tower Garden growers yield, typically, I'm going to say typically, spelling is not a requirement to being able to build a web page. Part of the reason that I recommend one does this in Word first is because Word will spell check stuff for you and will catch grammatical errors, whereas you will see errors in your text fields here sometimes, but it may not catch a grammatical error. Growers typically yield 30% more vegetables than in ground gardeners. And then if I wanted to, I could type a couple of other things in here about what I can do is great for home schools, public school science. I don't know why I thought there was an H in science because I know there's not. Schools, perfect for integrating multiple subject learning. Great for restaurants that want to guarantee the availability and quality of produce. Do protect yourself from produce recall by growing your own in tower garden or tower garden home. Okay, so this is a great description of my web page, and the reason that it's great is because it mentions my product a number of times in a way that's natural, in a way that does not pack my description full of keywords. The reason that's important is because when somebody does an internet search, say for example, Tower Gardens, then the search robots start scouring the internet for web pages by that name, for images with that title, for descriptions with that title, for keywords with that, with those words in it. So you want to include, but however, if all you write is Tower Garden, Tower Garden, Tower Garden, Tower Garden, Tower Garden, then they will likely look at your page as a scam page, or as not, they won't take it seriously, and you may not get ranked, you will not get ranked as highly in the search responses. Okay, so it's valuable for you to really consider what you write in your description. And I recommend that you do that up front with your website, because it does help you to organize your thoughts a little bit. And it does allow you to have a sense of what you're going to incorporate in your page. Then what we're going to do, I don't have a favicon. That's sort of like, it's an avatar that goes across the internet and follows you everywhere. I don't have one. And if you have one, that's where you would input it. Now, that's where you would input that, okay? Now what I've done is I've gotten some general information. They said that this is not, oh, that's why, because I did not delete what they had in there. So let me just make sure that I have the correct web address in there. Home site, let's see if it takes it. No, it does not seem like it is. And the reason is because that B is still in there. It wasn't supposed to be. I don't know how this ended up. see if it takes it. All right, let's try this again. What we're going to do is I'm going to just clear out this field, and I'm glad that this happened, because sometimes it happens that when we are trying to do something in Cheetah, in any website, in any of the apps, anywhere on the internet, whatever we're working on, sometimes it happens that it doesn't work exactly the way we expected it to. When we're new to something, we can kind of take that a little bit personally and figure that maybe we did something wrong. That's not always the case, okay? Sometimes it's just that, or maybe we made a mistake. Maybe it is something we did. Maybe it's a glitch in the system, okay? So what I did was I saved my settings that I had. I'm going to come back here to my home page. I'm going to click these three dots. I'm going to once again go to the website page. And you can see that this is the site address. Okay, well, there's nothing on the page for anybody to see, so that's why we're seeing a white screen. I'm going to copy that information. I'm going to just bring it back to this website overview, not website overview, site settings, and I'm going to type it in one more time. I'm not going to close that window yet, just in case I need to go back there for some reason. And then I'm going to save this information. Let me try putting a www in here. Dot. Not sure why it's not working. I'm actually going to put, let me see if it'll take it without a URL. If it won't, then I will. Oh, see, you don't even need a URL. It may just be that I've got to give it time to register in the system, that I started a new website. I just put the name in, and so the site hadn't been really created yet. So we'll go ahead and adjust that in a little bit. What I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to come into the page settings, and I am going to just actually, let me go back into the site settings one more time and copy this description, because I'm going to put that in my other description page. Okay, now I'm going to come and get rid of that. Now what I'm going to do is, I don't need to save it, but I'm gonna, and I'm just going to come here to this home page, and I'm going to go to settings, and I'm going to, I've already got my page name is home, and I don't need to call it Tower Garden Home because I already know it's Tower Garden Home. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come all the way down here, and I'm going to list some keywords. Keywords are words that are relevant to the information on your page. So I'm selling Tower Gardens, so I'm going to do Tower Gardens. However, Tower Garden, I'm actually going to do it both ways, Tower Garden and Tower Gardens, in case people type it both ways. I'm going to also type vertical garden. I'm going to type vertical gardening. I'm going to type indoor gardening because this is an option. I'm going to type organic gardening. I'm going to type aeroponic garden. I'm going to type aeroponic gardening. I am not including things like, oh, I can do pet. I am not including things like liquid fertilizer. I'm not including any of the materials like rock wool or organic seeds or any of the things that come with the tower garden, what I'm doing is including things that people might search to find this product. So what would you search for to find what you're selling? That's what you want to include here. And you want to include it for two reasons. First of all, you're going to be more likely to get picked up by the search engine bots, the crawler bots. Second of all, you're going to get customers who really want to be on your page. There is nothing I find, very few things I find, not nothing, because I'm not that easy to please, but there are very few things that I find more irritating than doing a search for something and having some random page come up because the creator of the page typed in keywords that were not really relevant to the page. Okay. I'm going to also type in patio gardening. And I'm going to type in sustainable gardening. I'm not going to type in, even though I'm outreaching to schools and I'm outreaching to restaurants, so on and so forth, I'm not going to mention it in the keywords because that is not directly relevant to what I'm going to be talking about in the page. It's not the priority of my page. It's just a side component. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and show you something that you will use later if you choose to. Okay. Remember before when we were in the menu and we were in the global settings, and then also just below the global settings, there was a space that said headers and footers. If you create headers and footers in that section, and I will show you how to do that in another tutorial, I'm not going to show you here, and I'll explain why in just a moment. But if you do create your headers and footers either under global settings or just in headers and footers, then you will see the headers and the footers that you created in this drop-down menu. All right. And you'll just click the header or the footer that you want to use on your website, and it will automatically, the system will automatically incorporate that into your web page when it publishes. Note here, please, that you have the necessity to set the desktop setting and the mobile setting. And you may wonder why. And the reason is because sometimes people don't maybe want to include the footer on the mobile because it's got a lot of information, but it also has kind of a large footprint. And so for somebody on a mobile site, that might be kind of a lot. Or perhaps you've created one header and footer for the desktop and for laptops, but you have created a different header and footer with the same information, but presented a little bit differently on for the mobile. Okay. And part of the reason that I don't use these is because when you choose from the drop-down menu the one that you want to use, you will see it on the published page from the user end, you'll see it. But when you're in the editor, it's not visible. So I personally don't choose this option. You'll see all these different save buttons. It's recommended that you save frequently. Okay. You never know. Maybe you accidentally hit a delete button or your computer crashes, or you didn't realize that your battery cable, your power cable disconnected and your computer goes off and you didn't save the information. So save often. Okay. You'll see that now there's a home page here and it's indicated by the house. Okay, so that's kind of important. If you look at, when we look at page settings, again, you'll look and you'll see here it says home page and it says no, it says yes, because it's the home page. We're going to go ahead and save that because always save, right? Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to this page and I'm going to click new page and I'm going to click thank you. Thank you. And for the moment, that's what I'm going to do with this page. I can go ahead and optimize it later, doing the same thing, filling in all the same text fields that I did in the previous page. I do want to show you something though. You see here that you have a choice to work with a blank page, which is what we're going to do. You can choose from other pages that you have. And if you were to do that, then the menu would ask you to choose other pages that you've chosen, that you have with the same, that you want to use, and treat it as a template, if you will. So I could look here if I wanted to and see if I accidentally did choose this page, which is actually my publisher page, my author page. I don't want to use that one. So I'm just going to put, I'm not going to choose that one, or you could choose to work from a template from Builderall, okay? Or I mean, some that you want to copy a page from. So you choose one of these pages from the Builderall template. I'm just going to go back to a blank page, okay? I'm going to click Save. I'm also going to, I'm waiting for that to save. Save. It should save and send me back to our home page. Maybe I confused it, all that choosing the different options, but I wanted to show you what that would look like if you did that. Let me click save one. Am I hitting the right button? All right. I want to make sure to save that. We can look down here and see what pages are. Oh, it didn't save it. Let's go back and do that. I apologize. Let's go to thank you. And then we'll go ahead and copy the title and paste that into the title page. I mean, the title field. Okay. It clicked on jewelry. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to click thank you. Just make sure that you get what you meant to do. I do not. Well, that's perfect. I am going to update my picture by having a thank you sign in there. And there it is. I'll show you what I did in just a minute. That was an accident. All right. Now I'm just going to type thank you again in here. And then I'm just going to click save. Now, see how I have this thank you on here because I chose that picture? That I accidentally hit a button. I didn't do that. I didn't quite mean to do that, but as you can see, you can change your picture here in the settings area just by choosing by going to the page share image, clicking choose image. If you click on that button, it will take you to your image back office or your image repository, if you will. If you're new to Cheetah, you don't have any pictures on the first page because those are user files. However, if you go to images, there are all these different types of images that you can choose based on what you're doing with your project, okay? There are also icons such as arrows, squares, squiggles, different things that you might want to use, different types of buttons, and also GIFs, which are moving or animated images. Okay, I'm gonna go back to user file. As you can see, I chose this thank you right here. I like to choose images for my share page that represent what the page is because it helps me visually. I have a lot of pages, I have a lot of websites, and this just helps me stay on track. Now I'm gonna go ahead and click save. I'm gonna show you another way to change the share image. If you click on this sort of upload icon right here, you'll see the text next to it says edit sharing image. If you click on that, you'll have the same experience. You can choose which image you'd like to use. I'm going to choose this Tower Garden image, and that just tells me what site I'm working on, right? I'm also going to create another page, and the way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to use this Create Page Turbo. The difference between this page and the other pages is that I won't have to set any keywords necessarily or any keywords, because the page will do it based on the information I'm giving them. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this a lead capture page. I'm going to call it Tower Gardens Affiliate. And this is going to offer people the opportunity to become affiliates of Tower Garden. Okay. And then the URL will be, I'll call this TG affiliate at, dot carlalwarnock.com, which is my website. You'll see under homepage, it says not, because it's not the homepage. And then I can set some content if I want to. I can do a call to action text. I want to sell Tower Garden. Might say become a Tower Garden affiliate and create income promoting something you use and believe in. And then I will say, help your friends and family take control of the food they eat. And then maybe I'll say, become a trusted source of information about organic aeroponic gardening. And then I might say, and then I might say something like, well, that's enough for right now. And then I'm not going to do footer set. Oh, well, for the footer, now this is going to set the footer for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the email address. I have one already, Tower Garden at Carla L. Warnock. Y'all, me and my spelling. It's not my spelling, it's my typing. And then company data would be, for example, if you have an address or you have perhaps a slogan, I'm going to say good health is empowering. Well, yeah, good health is empowering. I am an empowerment coach, and I try to tie everything together, all of my different income streams together as sources of empowerment. And because they empower me. And so when I offer other people the opportunity, I just try to tie that all together so that I have some kind of brand recognition. I don't have any terms of use text right now. I'm not going to worry about that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go ahead up here and I'm going to click save page, and I will have another page. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to leave the page alone for right now because I don't have an image that I really particularly want to use, and I don't want to use our time doing that. So the reason that I created these pages in the beginning is because I will want to link a menu. in my website, and I need to have pages to link to in order to show you how to do that. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here to edit page, and you will see that we have just a blank canvas and the just some what they call dummy script, and this is what people in the printing and typesetting industry use to hold space, to hold text space. Within a web page, there are a couple of components. There are panels, and in Cheetah, you can see a panel outline. You can see this broken blue line right here, this dotted blue line. That indicate, well, this whole area actually indicates a panel from one end of my computer screen all the way to the other end of my computer screen. About a third of the way down is one panel. And this area right here that's highlighted in that center of that panel is what people will see if they're on mobile devices or tablets. And that's critically important, because if you put a whole lot of valuable information out here on the outskirts of your page, or you put promotion on the outskirts of your page, a large population of users will never see that, because a lot of the world accesses the internet through mobile devices and tablets. Besides panels, there are other components called elements. And if you will, panels are often the backdrop of your page, and the elements are the fluff of your page, or the panel. If this was a brick and mortar store, the panel would be the walls and the outdoor signage, and the elements would be the lighting fixtures and the product placement and the sales signs and so forth within the store. Okay, so all of them are very important. If you have not already watched my tutorial on Welcome to Cheetah and done the walkthrough, I recommend that you do that if you get confused, because I'm going to go ahead and move pretty quickly through the building of the page, just so that we can get all the way through the webinar in a reasonable time frame. I think it's too late for that, actually. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and add the first thing, which is a panel, and I'm going to add a first fold panel. And the reason it's important, the reason I'm choosing to add a first fold panel is because it includes some components that you may want to include. Actually, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a header and a footer in my page, okay? And headers and footers are also panels. So I'm just going to go back to the panel homepage on the edit menu, and I'm going to come down here to headers, and I'm going to click on headers, and you'll see a variety of options here. Choose whatever one you want that speaks to your preferences, understanding that whatever you choose is 100% customizable. I'm going to choose this page, this logo right here. I'm sorry, I'm going to choose this header right here because I like the menu bar on the right-hand side, and there's a place for my logo. I do not want my menu in the middle of the page. However, I want this panel to be at the top of the page. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right away I'm going to click the panel, and you'll see that I get a panel editing menu, or the smaller editing menu, the component editing menu, if you will. And you'll see this menu on every single component you click on in Builderall. I mean, in Cheetah, if you'll notice this text box, if I click the text box, I get a menu. The text box is inside a box. If I click that box, I get a menu. If I were to click this other panel right here, I would get a menu. I'm going to go ahead and click this edit button, and I'm going to get a floating editing menu. And the reason it's floating is because my primary menu was closed. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go all the way down about 3/4 of the way to order panels. And see how this is showing me that this is the only panel? Let me explain why. This panel right here will actually be deleted in a minute. And this is just here for you to kind of have a sense of what are the components of a web page. So I already said a panel, and then you have a box, and then you have a text box, okay? And if you were to move this larger box, this text box would move with it, okay? If you were to take the text box outside of the highlighted area of this box, it will not move if you move the box. However, it's still in the panel. Actually, now it's still in the panel and it would show, but only half of it will show on a mobile device probably, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I don't need this panel anymore. It was just there as a placeholder. And I'm going to go ahead and delete that one. One nice thing about Cheetah is that before you delete anything, they confirm delete, okay? I haven't really done much so far, so I'm not going to save just yet, but I am going to go ahead and put a first fold panel in here right now. And I'm just going to come to my edit menu. I'm going to come to panels. I'm going to return to the panel home page. And I'm going to come down here to first fold panels. Now, the reason that I'm choosing first fold again is because there's certain components that you always want to include in your web page. Let's see what I have here. I think I'm going to choose something pretty simple. Well, actually, that's a sales funnel panel. And that's fine. I can modify this. So anyway, the reason that I'm choosing a first fold panel is because there's certain things you want to include in this first third of your web page. Okay. The reason for that is because in addition to the words that you use in your description, your keywords, so on and so forth, the search engine bots also look for a couple of components of a page to see if it's important, to see if it's a home page, to see if it's a landing page. Okay. So for example, if somebody does a search for Tower Gardens and the search engine bots, the crawler bots were to find Tower Garden on a page that did not have a first fold, they may consider that less relevant because maybe it's part of an advertisement, or maybe it's part of an essay or something like that. But this first fold right here has larger text. You definitely want to have large text. We'll talk about that. And it has a couple of, and that's really the big thing, is that large text. Okay. So I don't want to sell sales funnels though. Right now I'm trying to build a Builderall page, and I mean, not a Builderall page. I'm trying to build a web page for my Tower Gardens. And anyway, these colors don't really look all that great together. So let's see what we can do about this. Okay. I do want to stop and say that I have some control over this panel. If I think this won't be a large enough size for me, then I can drag this down and make it a little bit larger. I'm going to leave this as is for right now. What I am going to do is I'm going to change some colors in both my header and in my background. And I'm going to do that first in my header by clicking my edit. Let's talk about this edit menu. The edit menu has this save element, which looks like a disk, and that allows you, once you've gotten a feature, an element of your page where you like it, whether it be a panel or a text box or perhaps a configuration of your page, then you can save that as a personal element just by clicking it, labeling it in the description box, clicking this personal element. And I will show you where it will, I don't want to actually do this, but where it will save is over here in your edit menu. If you were to go all the way to the top, you'll see add settings and you'll see personal. And if you click on that, everything you save would be in the appropriate category. Okay, so you can see I have a lot of panels saved. I have a lot of everything saved. One of the benefits to doing this, to using this technique to save your elements, is that is available to you through all of your web pages. So whereas when you create headers and footers in the global elements. They're only available for the web page that you are working on, the website that you're working on, I mean. If you put them in your personal features, your personal elements, then you can use it across any web page. So if you're building a page for somebody else, but you like the configuration and just want to change the detail, it's easy to pull it up. You see this button, the button for the pencil, that's edit element. And that just is what we're going to do in a minute. If you were to click this copy symbol, you would make a copy of the element or clone it. I just did. And if you were to, I just clicked it and it cloned it. Oh, because in Cheetah, whenever you add a new panel, it always adds it to the bottom of the page. So I cloned the element and it threw the new panel down to the bottom of the page. But I don't really want that panel there. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete that. And then if we click this, you'll see, oops, if you click this, we'll see we have this eyeball with the slash through it. We'll talk about that. And then the trash can, which is delete. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click the edit feature and I'm going to go to background settings. I don't want the color to, I want to change the color. And so what I can do is I can choose from this color palette what general color I want to use. And I'm going to get in the greens because my product has a lot of greens. And I mean, the product that I'm selling, the color scheme is green and orange, which, you know, that doesn't really work for me, but okay. And then what I want to do is I'm going to choose some shades of green that I like and just see how much I like them, right? And that's what you do. If you watch people build pages in 5 minutes, you're like, wow, snap, I can't do that. You'll be able to. Just this video is long because we're doing it step by step, but we just choose the color we like. And then if we know we're going to use the color in our website repeatedly, we can click the color, we can click the plus button, and that color will add itself to our palette. You can see it added itself here. I'm actually not going to use red, so I'm going to get rid of the red. Okay. And then I'm going to, now what is true about this header is that it had a place for a logo and it had a place for a menu. Each of those components is individually customizable. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit the image. I'm going to click on the pencil right here. I want to note that there are two extra components to this edit menu, and one of them is the center element feature. And what that does is it moves whatever you're editing to the center of the panel that it's in. Okay, so I don't want this to be there, so I have to move it back manually. Builderall, I mean, Cheetah does not have a go back feature, but you never know because they got some really great developers, so they might have it soon. The other component that's different in this menu that wasn't in the panel menu is this link setting, and that just allows me to set a link. So for example, if I wanted to put my business in, my business logo in here, and if somebody clicks on that, they go to my business page, then I could do that. I'll show you how to do that in just a minute, okay? But what I'm going to do for the time being is I'm going to go ahead and click on that pencil, the edit feature. I'm going to go to general settings. I'm going to pop down here to change image. And I'm going to grab my business logo, my Revealing Optimal Wellbeing logo, which is right here. And what I should tell you is that if you're uploading images to Builderall, you've got a 5 megabyte limit. Keep that in mind. And if you've got something that's bigger than that, just go ahead and pop it into a photo editor and change the size of your image, or change it to a JPEG. That's another way to fix that. I could change everything I wanted. If I wanted this to kind of be a little bit more, I click the opacity, and right now it's 100%, which means it's really thick, really solid colors. But if I were to move this down, then my image would become transparent. It could become transparent. Okay, so I'm not going to do that because I don't want to do it. You can play around with the image editor. This is just enough for me for right now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull my image into this lower panel for a moment while I edit the size. I'm going to pop it up here just so I can get the editor without getting the editor for any other component. And I'm going to just make this nice and small using the diagonal arrows that edits your image without distorting it and makes it fit into your space right here. Now I have the option to set my link right to my business if I want to. I'm gonna move it back down here because I just know that the menu bar is going to get hidden if I keep it there. I'm going to type in the URL I wanted to go to is empowerment.carlalwarnock.com. If you can put the whole www or so forth, but Cheetah also does that. Okay. Now this is, I want this to go to another web page, but let's say that I just wanted it to go to a different page. I could use a different page. I could choose to do any number of other things with this link, but I want it to click to I want it to go to my website. If perhaps they're like, oh yeah, right, I want to go check out that site to this person, right? Then I want them to feel empowered to do that. I'm going to bring this down a little bit more and just shrink it a tiny bit because I don't want any of my business logo to get lost in this page. Branding is important, y'all. And I try to do things the first time, but look, if many is the time that I've done a number of things and then gone back later and made changes. And that's the nice thing about this system is that, it makes it very easy to go back and make changes. I'm going to go ahead and save that just because I don't want to have to reload my logo. You'll see that it asks me if I want to publish the site. For the moment, I'm going to say not now, okay? Because I don't necessarily need it to upload to my website right now. I could also choose, go ahead and publish it, but what would happen was that it would link to my it would update my website and my Tower Gardens page on my website, let's say this was connected to my website, would show this. And then in 15 or 20 minutes, it would show whatever other changes we make. So I'm not going to publish, I'm just going to save. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to take some of this text from this Word document that I created in advance of this webinar. And I'm going to come back here to my builder and I'm going to click on this text editor and you'll see that the edit menu came up. Another way to just automatically get right into the text editing menu is to click it 3 times. Your text will highlight and you can just paste your text if you have it or start typing. You can't, however, click the paste button. You have to click Control V. Okay. Now you see right here, I have this question to my visitors. Are you looking for a way to eat organically and stay on budget? One of the key things to remember about building a web page is that you've got to state what your customer's problem is and then how you're going to fix it on your web page, or what their lack is and how you're going to fulfill that lack, whether it's a lack of knowledge, a lack of product, a lack of anything. How are you going to fix that for them? So this person is lacking organic vegetables on a budget. One of the things that I like to do with my text boxes is I like to shrink them to the size of my text. You can go back and change it and they will expand if you type more. But I just like to do this because it allows me to, if I were to, for example, click on that center element feature, it would center the element based on the size that it is. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to change a bunch of stuff in this box. Notice in this box, there are boxes within boxes within boxes. There's a text field. There's this this smaller text field, there's yet another text field, and there's a call to action button. And if you notice, when I move the box, then everything that's in there that was typed in the box stays with the box. The reason the sales funnels text didn't stay in there is because it was not put in the box. Now watch, it moves with it. However, if I were to set the sales funnel ahead, first and then put the box over it, then the sales funnel would not be tacked into the box. The box will still move without sales funnels. So it's an important thing to remember that if I want this feature to always stay in place, then, and everything within the box to be able to move, I need to set it up that way by making sure I don't type this in the box, or I don't put the text box within the larger box. This text is, you'll see in the editor that it's heading 1 text. It's important in your first fold to have some of your text be heading 1. If you want the search robots to classify it as a relevant page. Okay, so particularly a home page, a landing page, a sales page. If you want the crawler bots to catch it, you definitely need some heading 1 font. I'm going to put Tower Garden, and that's all I'm going to say with that, right? Because now it's going to catch that font. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this box back over here, and then I'm going to edit this. Tower Garden offers you a way to ensure the quality of produce that your family eats on a and then at a price that can't be beat. Okay. Now it tells them that there's something important here, something good here. You can't beat that price. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to, I really don't want this call to action button in here for this website, so I'm going to go ahead and delete it. All right. But I am going to have a video in here about Tower Gardens. I haven't made that video yet, so I'm going to leave this placeholder for the moment. I will show you how to link that. What I want to do now is I want to edit my panel so that the colors match, because this green is not great with this blue. I was doing that and I got distracted. That happens. I don't dye my hair this color. I really am just, you know, as free-flowing as anything. I don't know if it's because of the blonde or because I'm a free spirit, but one way or the other. Now I have 2 choices. I can use the color I've already used, or I can offset it with a slightly different color. And the other thing that I could do is I could have a gradient color. Okay. So if I had a gradient color, what will happen is I will be asked to choose my lightest color and go to my darkest color. So I'm going to actually go to here. I kind of like that. I think I might like it more there because it's less harsh on the eyes. And then I can choose, well, I can choose this, and then I can choose my next, my lightest color. Let's get that in the greens and put that there. So it's not as harsh of a transition. And I can just change this one a little bit more if I want to. Give me a second to change. Maybe put this one. This one's so dark. Maybe I want to make it though a little bit darker. Yeah, and then I'm gonna come and take this one and I'm gonna put this one up here. I think I like that a lot. Okay, what do y'all think? All right, we're gonna go with that. Since I added stuff I like, I'm gonna go ahead and click save. Okay. Now, I'm still gonna click not now. Now what I'm gonna do is I am going to go ahead and add a footer panel to my page. All right. And I'm going to show you why I do it this way in a minute. What am I doing here? Oh, I'm in the elements section. I have to go to the panels section. Now, in a minute, I'm going to show you where you find all the things you need to type the things you want to type. Let me go back to the panels homepage. And we're going to just come down here to footers, and you'll click on that button and you'll see a variety of different kinds of footers. Now, you can choose something very simple, or you can choose something very in-depth with all of your company information, perhaps your privacy policies in there. You see there's one with a lead capture form in here. There's no end to the possibilities with the Cheetah Builder, okay? I kind of like this simple one, but it's got a menu on it, and I think I'm just going to choose this one right here. And you can see that Cheetah put it down here at the bottom of the page, because remember that that Cheetah always puts new panels at the bottom of the page. So if you're putting a new panel on there, then remember, if you can't find it, it's because it's at the bottom of the page. So what I'm going to do here on this panel now is I'm just going to edit it. I'm going to do some of the same stuff I did with my header. I like it when my headers and my footers match. So I'm just going to go ahead and choose that same color green that I used for my header. I also feel like this panel is going to be a little bit wide for me. Another way that I could change the width of my panel or of any of the components in Cheetah is by opening up the editor, coming up to coming up to sizes, and then you can either grab your toggle and drag it. I don't like to go that way. I like to click on my toggle, and then I like to just use my arrow keys because it takes it a little bit more slowly. That's my personal preference, because I live with tremors, and it is sometimes a little bit dicey when I start just dragging things across the screen. Sometimes I take it right off the page. I've done some amazing things. So yeah, I prefer this method, but you have two options. You can also just type in the number if you know what number you want based on where you are. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and edit some information here. I'm just going to call this Tower Gardens. Tower Garden. And then I'm going to put here healthy a healthy lifestyle is empowering. Let's just call it like that, right? And then I'll leave this phone number for now, but then I will put the Tower Garden at Carla L. Warnock.com, and then I'll leave all of this information right now, because matter of fact, maybe I don't need this information right now. This is maybe where I'll put my social media bar. Okay, so what I'll do is, for the moment, I will click off of this, but I'm going to delete the whole thing. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to my personal elements. I'm going to come down here to elements. I'm going to come down here to social bar, and I'm going to come to linked social bar and just grab this and bring it over to this box. And here's my social media bar. Okay. So this is just how my people can find me. Now I could put a box behind that and do other things to make that look a little bit different, but I'm not going to do that right now. Also, I could just describe a little bit about why I find tower gardens wonderful. I can do that later, okay? What I want to do now is I want to show you how you can add some components to your page. So I want perhaps I want a video, but maybe I don't necessarily want it to be so huge. I'm going to make this a little bit smaller, and this will eventually be a welcome video, okay? But I want some pictures of my product because people won't necessarily, maybe they're new to the product and they're not quite sure what they're looking at. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna come over to my edit menu, come to elements. I'm gonna come to images, and I'm going to choose vertical image, understanding that vertical is the up and down image, if you will, and horizontal is the image that goes across from side to side. You'll also see that there's this image right here with a shadow, and that's more like the vertical image because it can handle tall pictures, and it can also be expanded out for horizontal pictures. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to choose shadow. And then you also have this other image right here. This is a 3D image. So when you put this on the page and your visitor visits it and sees it, then the picture will actually move when you toggle over it. It's a really nice attention getter, but sometimes it doesn't handle tall pictures very well. So I'm going to go ahead and choose shadow. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and edit this image. And because I had my editing menu open already, it just switched to settings from add. I'm going to go to general settings. I'm going to click change image, and I'm going to choose an image of Tower Gardens. Now, I really love this image right here. It just says that all the vegetables are lush and green and delicious. And I'm going to go ahead and make that a little bit bigger, okay? And I'm going to bring that in right here. Now, what I might do is just place my video over this to hide that area if I choose to do that. Or the other thing that I could do is I could put something else to cover that part of the picture if I wanted to. Okay, I think I'm just going to put this here for now because it'll work for me. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add, I'm just going to put this here, okay, because I think that's pretty, just shows how you can have this actually right in your living room. I'm going to put this video down here, I think, for now. And what I'm going to do is I want to add a little bit more information about Tower Gardens. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over to add. I'm going to come over to elements. I'm going to return to the elements home page, and I'm going to come down here. I think there's something that says lists. Yep, there's a list here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this list right here on this box. I'm going to adjust the size of it just because, no, yeah, I'm going to adjust the size of it just because I really don't want to go outside my center area. So I'm going to right away adjust my text box so that I know what I'm working with. Then I'm gonna come in here and I'm going to start to adjust my text. I'm going to say something like, great for ensuring quality. I'm going to, great for family projects. Then I'm going to say wonderful home school activity. Then I'm going to say organic produce year round. I'm going to put sustainable. Oh, easy to maintain, mess-free. Then I'm going to put I didn't mean to do that. Okay, so then what I'm gonna do, because I know already from past experience that I can't get that check back, is I'm just, oops, I'm not gonna do that. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to clone this element and I'm just going to continue all the benefits because there are so many benefits. And actually what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this down here. I'm gonna put this here. Okay, then I'm gonna get a text box and what I'm going to do is I'm going to click add. I'm going to go to elements. I'm going to go to the elements home screen, click on text. Now I don't really need to have a huge text, but maybe I want an attention getter. I'm just going to click one of the smaller title headings and I'm going to put benefits of buying Tower Garden. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get out of that. Oh, actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to get back into the editor and I think it's already done. And then I'm just going to move this up to look nice next to it. Okay. And I think what I'll do is I will leave this as it is. And I am going to actually highlight save money on produce. I'm going to put going to say no more wasted produce. No more spoiled produce. Rotting in, oh, that's okay. And then I'm going to put some other benefit is no pests in with Tower Garden. I already said it's easy to maintain and mess free down there. So then what I'm going to say is reduce dependence on reduce impact of produce recalls. Okay. So now what I've done is I've listed some benefits of Tower Garden, and these people are looking for a way to eat healthy organically and stay on a budget. And what I did, instead of saying, is this you, or is this you, or is this you, or is this you, what I did was I asked one simple question that probably spoke to a large number of people. And then in speaking about the benefits of Tower Garden, I spoke to a whole lot of other people that may or may not also be part of that original question. I do want to change the size of this text because I feel like it's just not attention grabbing enough. I'm not sure what size it is, unfortunately. That's a little bit too big for the space it's in, but I'm going to adjust the size and we will be good to go. All right, now We have the center element feature, and we also have the ability to adjust the color. Oops, center the element and then move it again. We have a center element feature, and then we can get into the text editor and we can edit the color of the text in the text editor. Okay, we do that just by the same way we do in most other word processing formats. We just click the text feature, and maybe I want to have a dark text in there. I'm going to click OK, unhighlight it, and see what it looks like. Oh yeah, that's really nice, right? Because it's just another shade of green. It fits in real nice. I really love that. And then what I don't love is that the name of the product is being overlapped by this picture, okay? But I love this picture. So what I'm gonna do is just put that down a little bit further and just highlight it there, okay? Now, the only other things that we really need to do is we need to connect our menu and we need to connect our video, all right? And then we will have a web page. Now, remember before when I said I don't build my headers and footers in the global elements and in the front end? And the reason that I don't is because what I usually do is I connect my menu and I then take this header and save it in my personal elements as a header. And then I add it to my other pages as I build them. And we will do that in just in another tutorial. We're actually going to do a more in-depth webinar on menus, on headers and footers. For the purposes of this webinar, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and edit the menu. We're going to go ahead and adjust some settings. Particularly what we're going to do is we're going to decide what components we want our menu to have and if we want any sub menu items. So I know I want to keep the home page. That's the page we're on, is the home page. I want to keep that in case they get to another page and they want to come back to this. I'm going to adjust I'm going to keep the about page and I'll make that my turbo page. And then I'm going to change the service page to be a sales page. So I'm going to click the pencil and I'm going to do that again. Sometimes what happens is when you're highlighting this text in the text box, if you overshoot this and let go, you will actually just close the box out. So just be sure to highlight within the box. I'm going to change this services to buy Tower Garden, okay? And then I'm going to click save so that it saves that sub menu. I'm going to go back in there and edit it and make it all caps because the rest of the menu is. See what I did again, y'all? That's a big, I do that regularly. Let's do this again. I'm in all caps. Bye. And then I'm going to click save. And then instead of contact, well, I could have contact because I do have an email address. But I also wanted to have, I have the thank you page, and the thank you page is actually for the sales page. Okay. We're not going to build the sales page today. I'll come back and do that because right now we're just learning. It's just for the webinar, right? But I am going to save this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to connect this contact. I want to keep that. I meant to set a link. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just type in what I want them to go to. And maybe I want them to come to, well, let's see if I have a page. I guess I want them to, let's say I have them go to the uh, I don't have a thank you page yet, so I can't really link that one. But if I wanted to, let's do this. Let's say that, let's cancel that. Let's say that instead of by Tower Garden, I'm going to call this a, or instead of contact, I'm going to edit that and it's going to become the thank you page. Gosh, Carla Badarla. Thank you. Okay. Typically, the thank you page is really one that is not a published page. It's just the page that you route your customers to after they complete an action that you wanted to, usually make a purchase. But let's just pretend that I have this thank you page and that I actually wrote thank you in here, which I was distracted. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and I'm going to set the link, and I'm going to set the link to a page, and I'm going to set it to the thank you page. And then I'm going to click here. So that way, if visitors come to my website on the user end and they click, what's up with that thank you page? They'll get to my thank you page. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Buy Tower Garden and I'm going to link that to, I'm going to add, if I wanted it to go to a URL like towergarden.com, I would just click to www.towergarden.com and it will redirect to that website. And so that's how you set a web link. Now, the nice thing about this is that you can also set sub menu items. So let's say that I went to the About section and I didn't want to set a link. I went to the About section and I edited it, and then I wanted to add a submenu. I would just click on add submenu, and I could add whatever I wanted the submenu to be. If I wanted it to be Tower Garden, okay, and I saved that one, and then this one is then I edit another submenu to say Tower Garden Home. And then maybe I had another submenu that said Tower Garden Farm, okay? Because if somebody buys more than 12 Tower Gardens, it's considered a farm. So maybe for a restaurant or something like that, right? So then I make those changes and I click save. And I click save to my overall menu. And now I've done a lot of things I really like to my page. So I click save to my page. However, it's not quite exactly what I want it to be because I still need to, but I accidentally did choose out of habit. I clicked publish. So now it's published. Okay. It's not connected to my website right now. So on the front end, it doesn't show anything. Let's see. Right now, I want to show you how to connect this video. And what you're going to do is you're going to come here and get the edit menu. You're going to click on edit and you'll get your edit either floating menu or out of your menu bar, out of your edit bar. And you'll click into general settings. And the first thing you'll see is a place to put a link. Okay. What that's going to necessitate is you're going to have to go to YouTube and you're going to have to choose the account you want to be in. And I'm doing this while you're in the webinar with me so that you can see that it's a pretty simple thing to do. Then you go to your videos. I don't have one for this particular product, so I'm just going to pick one. Okay. I'm going to choose my shareable link and it copies to the clipboard. And then what I do is I highlight the text field and I actually just delete that whole thing and it always comes back. So I just hit copy and paste here. And then before I click anything else, I click the frame and that usually sets it for you. Okay. And so you can see that the image changed from the placeholder video to the video that I'm linking in, okay? Now, this is a basic web page, and you have now gone through the process of building a basic web page. You see how you can change this Builderall copyright. You can put your own copyright for your product. I'm just going to pull my my footer just a little bit further down so that there's no empty space on the bottom of my page. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this page, and then I'm going to show you how you can check the mobile version and the tablet version. It's worth noting, and you have already noticed if you've poked around Cheetah at all, that the tablet version and the mobile version are essentially the same. And so what you do to one, you are essentially doing to the other. You edit it in mobile. So I usually just click mobile just to see, but I actually click both of them because the tablet looks wider. It does look a little bit different. So now I can see that my logo comes up front. My menu is here. It's the mobile version, so you don't see the expanded menu. But if you click on it, you'll see all of your menu components. And then you can see that there's information here, all the information that we had. But do you see how this box right here is no longer with this box right here? And this information that was under the Tower Garden headline is no longer under it. I want to change those things. Okay, well, first of all, I didn't change this text. I'll have to change that eventually, but let's just get in this box. Let me highlight this box. Nope, this box, there we go. And you'll see that these, there's a couple of arrows that show up, one to move it up and one to move it down. You click the arrow and the arrow will move that component in the direction you asked it to. I'm clicking I clicked the wrong thing, but that's okay. Let me do this. In the direction you indicated by one place, okay? So I want this text to be on the other side of my video. I'm going to go ahead and do that, but actually I want this on top of these two sets of benefits. And you don't have to save this. It saves automatically when you are editing in the mobile version, okay? And then you'll see that this is my footer. Remember before when I said that sometimes footers take up a lot of footprint on the mobile version? So some people choose to create different footers for their mobile and their desktop version. And if you choose to do that, you do have to do that in the home page of your website. Okay, you can't do it from your well, you can. You just have to save your mobile version footer in your personal preferences, and then you can use it. Let's go ahead and look at the tablet version. And this looks really nice too. But look, I got my picture before I got my product name, and I notice it more readily now in the tablet version. So can I edit? Yeah, I can edit it here. So I'm just going to go ahead, and that's not what I meant to do. I meant to move it down. So I guess you can edit it in both places. Where you edit in one, it will impact both. So you should definitely keep that in mind. And I actually like the Tower Garden and then the picture and then this other text box. So I'm going to leave that as it is. And then I'm going to go back to the desktop version. I'm going to save my page, and now we have a built page, right? Obviously, I will come in here and either change this text or delete it. For the moment, I am just going to change it to my hope for you. And then I'm just going to say, I have found great empowerment in taking control of the food I eat by growing with Tower Garden. I hope you have the same experience. If you want to share your testimonial, please email Tower Garden at carlalwarnock.com. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and change this now. I'm just gonna say 2008. I'm gonna say 2020, revealing optimal well-being, all rights reserved. Okay, that's my business name. I want to center that element because I like it to look nice, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and center that, center that. One thing I haven't showed you yet, and I want to show you before we close out, I'm just getting rid of these text boxes that I ended up not needing. I want to show you before we close out this tutorial is that it's sometimes you're trying to figure out how you want to align something and you're not sure if items on your page are symmetrical and you want them to be. You can use this tower feature, I'm sorry, wow, this ruler feature. It kind of looks like a comb to me. You click on that, and I don't know if you noticed the ruler come along the horizontal and vertical axes of the screen. It's really nice to have this feature because let's say, for example, I want to make sure that this box right here and this box right here are aligned horizontally and vertically. What I can do is come along the ruler where I think the top of the box is, and I can click the space and it will draw a line across the screen. And you can see that indeed my boxes are pretty well aligned. And then let's say that I wanted to make sure that understanding that my social menu bar is centered and I want to align these two boxes with that. If I couldn't quite tell, I could also, if they were aligned, I could also click the area around my box and get to the edge of my box and make sure it's where I want to be. If I put a line where I don't want it, I can just click that line again and it will erase the line unless you draw a line right next to it. Sometimes it's a little hard to see. So you can use these lines to confirm that things are lined up where you want them to be. I'm doing it in the footer right now, but it's especially helpful if you were, for example, trying to align this text element with this text element right here. Then we would just draw a line to the top of to the place where we want to put the element and make sure that they are both where we want them to be. Okay. And then if we wanted to take them away because now we just want to see what it looks like without them, then we just get right back on the line and take it away. Sometimes it's a little hard to see if your eyes are older like mine, or if you need corrective, like if you need glasses or something, it's a little harder to see. If you click right on the line and don't try to do it on the ruler, it's a little bit easier. And then we can just, I'm gonna just scoot these over because I think it will look nicer. And I'm just gonna put this back here. I meant to do that. That is not, yeah, that is what I meant to do. And actually what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this video in this box so that it always moves with this text, okay? And then I'm going to save this, and we have a web page. So what you learned in this part of the tutorial is how to build a web page from scratch, how to edit text, how to find different components that you may want to add to your page. If you wanted to add other panels or other pre-built components, you could do that just by, if you were trying to add a checkout page or something like that. We'll do that in another tutorial, but this is your basic web page, and you learned how to set a link in YouTube. Now that this is saved, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and go back to the home page for Cheetah, and we're going to build a quick site in the Smart Site Builder. Okay, and so what we're going to do is we're going to just go to home. We're going to come here and we're going to create a new site. We're going to use a smart template, and I'm going to leave some of these things the same, and some of the things I'm going to change. I'm going to change this to Builderall Digital Marketing Solutions, and I'm going to leave this headline the same, earn money. I'm going to do create an passive income stream while promoting your business online. Okay. And then I'm going to leave this. This is from another site I built. Enjoy all the benefits of a passive income stream. One of the things that's nice about this smart template is if you're not sure what to put on a web page, this will take you step by step things you might want to consider. And if you don't fill out a component of this, then what will happen is they will build the website, and all of the information that's in the placeholders will come up on the web page that is generated, and you can choose to delete or edit the information there. Now, what I did here prior to this tutorial is that I added a description to my web page. I already pre-loaded all of this information just to make it easy and to save a little bit of time. But what you'll do is you will just come all the way down every one of these components and fill it out with information that is appropriate for your website. And then what you'll do is you'll select a template. I'm going to look at advanced tags right now. I don't think there's anything else I want to add. And so what I'm going to do right here is I'm going to select a template, and what I will need now is to understand what the purpose of this template is. Like before, right? Is this a sales funnel? Is this is for digital marketing? The reason it's important is because when we generate this page, the search engine, the tags, the keywords, and so forth will be geared more toward the page, the template that you choose, and the pictures on the page will be more geared toward the whatever the template genre is that you choose. So if you, for example, pick a travel agency template, but you're trying to sell digital marketing, you're going to have to really modify a lot more. Okay. So that's just something to consider. And what I'm going to do is just really see if I've got this digital marketing site right here, and I'm going to go ahead and choose that. But look, maybe I don't want to choose digital marketing because I want outreach to maybe a different genre, maybe real estate agents, or maybe an esthetician or something like that. And I'm trying to get their site online, right? I'm trying to get them to put their site online, and I want to maybe choose, for example, if somebody were an insurance broker and I wanted to sell Builderall to them, or somebody were in the real estate or the home staging business, then I might want to sell Builderall to them. Then I might click one of those. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go with digital marketing for right now. I'm going to go ahead and click confirm, just the way that I did with the other page. You'll see that I have a home page. You'll see that I have this new page. I'm just going to go ahead and make a thank you page. I'm going to copy that and just paste it into a couple of places. And one of the other things I like to do actually is create an under construction page on all of my sites. And that way, if I have a page that I'm planning, but I haven't built it yet, I can just link it to the under construction site temporarily. And that way, when my guests, when my visitors get to my page, if they click on that, they don't end up with a 40 and my page isn't ready yet and it's not linked to anything. They don't get a 404 message that says error page not found. What they get is this page is under construction, please check back. So that's just something I like to recommend for folks to do. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to go ahead and do that right here because we're going to practice linking some stuff in a minute. So I'm just going to call this under construction. And I'm just going to copy and paste. I'm going to first correct that. If you wonder what I did was I right clicked on, I highlighted the incorrectly spelled word and right clicked on it. And I got some spell check options that I clicked on the one I wanted. And then I'm going to do this. Okay. And I don't need to do anything else with that because this is not something that needs to come up in search engines. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually edit this page really quickly. And the way that I'm going to do that is I'm just going to get on this page. I'm going to get into personal, go into elements. I'm sorry, I think it's panels. I think I have an under construction panel. And I'm just going to drop that in here. Okay. And I'm going to save that. And now I have something for my clients to go to. Okay. And if I didn't like the background color of this because it wasn't with the color scheme I was working with, that's okay. I have all the flexibility in the world to come in here and edit that the way we've been doing by just clicking background settings. I could put an image if I wanted to, but I'm just going to go ahead and put this green that I've been working with. Remember, we had that gradient green. I liked that, right? So I think I'm going to go gradient color. And it's going to have me do the green, the top one first. I'm going to go ahead and do kind of this darker color green. I really like it. And then I'm going to come down here to this lighter color. And I'm going to come to the greens. And I'm going to click on a lighter color green. And I kind of love that gradient. And then what I'll do is I'll click this box and I'll edit that. And I'll go to background settings and I'll put that a different color that matches what we're working on a little bit better. And that's how you can use your personal elements to modify another site. That under construction page was actually from my author website, and I just popped it into this site and made the color scheme match. And I'm going to click save. And now I have an under construction page for my site. Go ahead and publish that. That's fine. I do want it to save the settings. And then this page doesn't have to connect to anything other than my menu while I'm setting the links. I don't have to have it accessible to the internet. There's no menu up there. Nobody's ever going to, if I wanted to, I could put a menu up there with a home link on it. I'm not going to do that right now. What we're going to do is we're going to go to this home page and we're going to look at how Cheetah's smart template built a page for us based on the information we put in. Okay, so you see that the background image is on the screen. That's based on the template that we chose, but the terminology, the verbiage that we input is on the web page. Now you'll see here that I didn't fill in a place for a special offer, but let's say that I was going to offer, maybe I happen to know that there's going to be, matter of fact, I can put, Builderall Funnel Club. I'm going to say get Builderall Funnel Club with premium membership. Now, it's very helpful if you're an affiliate to anything to always know what kind of specials they've got going on. Builderall is really fantastic about letting you know if they have upcoming promotions or if they're going to be rolling out new plans or new products. They let the affiliates know, and that's fantastic because you can use that in your marketing. And then I can say here that something about the special description: over 300 pre-built funnels for ease of marketing. Okay. And I'm going to get rid of these command brackets. These brackets right here are what coders use to put a command in something. Okay. So I just take them out while I'm building my page. Maybe I want to put a timer. I don't really know how how long Builderall is going to keep this going, but I'm just going to say time is running out. Maybe I'm going to put the timer at 2 weeks. Okay. So I want to do a countdown. I want to do 14 days. I can just type in 14 days, or I can use the arrows to work up. That's not what I meant to do. I meant to do that, and then I meant to do this, and then the hours and minutes and so forth. You can really customize this menu if you want to, but I'm sorry, this timer if you want to, by choosing the font, by choosing the size. You can choose how big it is on a tablet. So if you want it to be a little bit smaller so it doesn't take up so much space on the tablet, you can really move it quite small and save that setting. We'll figure out what that looks like in a minute when we look at the tablet. And then you want to say from when till when and what the special is. But you see, as soon as we put in the timer countdown, it's counting down. And I actually have a timer in my personal elements, and it continues to count down. It's set for December 31st, 2023, and it's always counting down on the site that I have it on, as well as in the elements. But you can always change it. So I'm going to say regular price, $100. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here to the 69, and I'm going to type that, and I'm going to put $199, and it's automatically cross out text. I can't remember what that's called, but strike through text. Okay. Maybe I want to increase the size of that. I want you to know that you're getting a good deal right now. So I'm going to make that maybe we'll say 24. Okay. And then we're going to say included for only. Okay. So I'm just going to change this to say included with premium. I'm sorry, I'm confusing myself here. I often delete the text before I start typing. And this is where I'll put a free, okay, include it with premium free. And maybe I want to change the color of the free so that that is highlighted. Maybe I'll make that red. This red doesn't really work for me because on the button, because matter of fact, I don't like the red there either. It's feeling kind of Christmas to me, actually. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit this button right away by just going to general colors. And I'm just going to pop down here to is it on solid color? Yes. And I'm just going to pop down here to the greens, and I'm going to make it a dark green button instead. And for some reason it didn't take right away. It usually does. It's unusual for it not to. Let me click that, and I don't know why it's you know what, I was correcting different text. I was correcting the text for the subheadline, of which there is none. Okay, so I don't know if I wanted that. Maybe I want to bright green, really get attention. What do y'all think? And then what I'll do is I'll change, because I'm not loving the background of this particular panel. Okay, so I'm going to just change the background color. Now you'll see that the top part of this is a panel on its own, and we will connect all of the logo and everything in a minute. We've done that once, so I'm just showing you how you can adjust this template. We're going to go to background settings. We're going to go to color, and I'm going to find a color that's sort of similar to what I was using before in my other website, just because I liked it. And that really, that's too much. That's really, I like that. Okay, so I'm going to keep that. I'm going to get rid of this red because I really do not like red like that on there like that. But maybe what I might do is just put like a really, like, get its attention with black. And if I want to, the other thing that I can do actually is I can animate this text to get the attention of a visitor. And I can choose, I can see what my text is going to do. And what I want to do is I want to make it move when it's visible. And I think I want it to do maybe, let's see what a Jack in the Box looks like. Oh, that would look nice. Let's go ahead and do a Jack in the Box. Okay. But let's say you, and then we can choose if we want it to go slow or fast. So let's do faster. That's too fast for me. I want to get their attention, but that's nice. I like it. Okay. So you will not see this change in the editor. It's important to notice that. You will only see it when you're on a web page. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and get out of that. And I scrolled down here. Now you'll see we're going to edit this web page the same way that we edited the previous web page. And you'll see that there's all these panels on here, right? And you can choose what to do with those. Now, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this panel right here, but I'm going to move it up a couple. But I'm going to keep the background because I really like that do more background. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here to edit panels. And remember before when we edited the mobile version, we we used arrows to move the panels up and down. And we used to do it this way in Cheetah, but they have changed how we do this now. And the way that it's done is we go into the panel editor and we click order panels, and we can choose what order we want our panels to be in. Okay. So this panel right here, I really want to move this up. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to move it to right where I want it to go. I'm going to, first of all, move it up here so I can see it. See where it is. Okay. And then I can see that here's my menu panel. Here is my first fold panel. Okay. Here's just a little bit about the panel we were just working on with the green panel that we were working on that I just changed the color of. And now what I want to do is I want to really quick get them in with a call to action. Okay. Let me just pull this out of here and see if, oh, darn, I forgot one step. First of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this again. I'm going to click on order panels. I'm going to put this where I want it. And then the next thing that I have to do, what I like is I didn't lose my choice. It just waited for me to come back and click move. And then it will move the panel for me. And it sometimes takes just a minute, but it does do it. Ah, there it is. Okay, so that's been done. And I can then choose to move any other panels. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this footer right now, because if I choose to use a footer, it will be a different one. But you can, but I just want to show you here, actually, this has all of my information on it. I'm going to keep it just because it's part of this footer, part of this page. But if I wanted to, I could move my social media. I could move my digital marketing. I could move all of this. I could actually put this contact us here. I could put this box here. Okay. And I could center that in the element, center that element. I could move this up. I could move this text box up. Same thing. I'm going to change the size of this text box and then re-center it because it didn't center to the size of the text. Remember before when I said I really like to center, I like to make the text boxes the length of my text? That's the reason why, because it centers more accurately. And then I can put, I'm going to change this one right here just by clicking on the box, pushing down on it, dropping that there. I'm going to get rid of this box. I don't need it anymore. I'm going to go ahead and center this in this element. I haven't won any awards, and if you haven't won any awards, get rid of this, because you never really want to talk about what you don't have. And, you know, it's one thing to brag if you got it, but you don't want to boast about what you don't have. Okay. Now what I can do is I can sort of align this a little bit differently and create a different kind of balance in my footer. Okay. So see how customizable all of this is. And I want to show you another thing. So I don't need this. We are awesome at our work page. I can get rid of, panel. I'm going to get rid of that because I don't need it. Okay. And the nice thing about the smart template is that you can get rid of anything you want without damaging information on the other panels or without losing information on the other panels. It's a very, 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 very responsive system. So what I'm going to do now is I want to use this color green in all of my other panels. And I showed you one way to be able to get the same color consistently throughout your panels, but I want to show you another way. Let's say that you have saved this in your menu for some reason, but you can't find it again, or I don't know, you just, for some reason, it's not coming up on your palette. What you can do is you can come here in this first box, highlight the number that's there, because that's the number that is that represents this attribute, this color, and just go ahead and copy that. Okay. And then what you'll want to do is go down to the rest of your panels that you plan to keep and just change the background color of your panel. And you can do that by clicking on the change image, the color palette. You'll see a bunch of F's in there because it, or the F's because it's white, or if it's another color, whatever number is associated with that color attribute, just go ahead and paste in the number that you copied. It's just the same copy and text like we do with every other word processor. Okay. And you just keep doing that for all of your panels. And that's a really good way to, a really quick and easy way to adjust your, make sure that your panels are all the same color if you want them to be, the same shade of green or the same shade of whatever, that it's not just a smidgen off, because some people will notice that. And you know what, even though it sounds crazy, but to some people that's going to matter, right? Then we can talk about the, now we go ahead and do it with this one where it talks about your commission and how we make Builderall easy to earn money. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this, get that in there, paste in my number. I love this. And one of the things that I'm seeing is that my text didn't go in right into the box where I wanted it in my attributes and features. So I'm just going to go ahead and make that move so that it's easily legible. If I need to, I can adjust the size of this box so that I can have a really nice looking centered product. It doesn't look like I am trying to cram too much information into a field that wasn't built for it. It's one of the things I really like about Builderall, Cheetah, well, both Builderall and Cheetah, is that your product, when you're finished building it, even if you're a complete novice, really ends up looking like it was built by a pro because the tools are so responsive and intuitive. Okay. So if you are an absolute newcomer to this digital marketing thing and you're using this smart template because you found the other option too much and you know, you weren't ready for it just yet, don't worry. The smart template is, as you can see, 100% customizable. Just going to go ahead and make sure this looks really nice because everything we do represents the business that we are presenting. And if I don't take this time to make this look nice, if I leave it just the way the smart template did it, lined it up, even though it's a little bit off because my verbiage was not what the template was expecting, then I've got to go back in and make those changes, or my customers might think I don't care. And if I can't care about my website, how am I going to care about them? So that's just something to consider. I'm going to come back in here and finish what I was doing, getting my panels changed. Just it sometimes seems a little bit tedious, but I just want you to see that this is how it goes. And if you are doing this by scratch and you're feeling like it's taking you a little too long, it's not you, you're doing it right. Or you're making some mistakes and learning as you go. And that's not wrong. That's just sometimes the way it goes, right? I'm having trouble getting this lined up. Wait, Nicole. Okay, let's try one more time. I know what I'm doing. Let's just click paste. I was hitting the wrong button. Now, I'm actually gonna delete this panel because I am not gonna do an expertise page. That's not necessary for what I'm trying to do. Actually, I'm trying to get people to buy Builderall, but I don't necessarily need that. However, if I were doing my empowerment coaching, if this was for my empowerment coaching business or this was for my interpreting business, I would definitely list some awards that I've won. I'd list different types of work, different genres that I work in, different levels of expertise that I have. Absolutely. I would promote myself shamelessly. Remember before when I was talking about colors of green that are just a little bit off and how it can really look weird on your page? Yeah, this is what I was talking about. So we're just going to go ahead and adjust this by clicking, by pasting in the number that we copied earlier. And I don't have a testimonial page. Actually, I do have a testimonial page for this site. And some of the ways, if you don't have testimonials for your site, one of the ways that you can get it is just offer a product to your client for free in exchange for a testimonial, or if you are hoping that somebody will talk about Builderall and create testimonials for your page, then perhaps just offer something for free. If you can't offer Builderall for free, well, other than the free trial, then perhaps you can offer a file of software, backgrounds and fonts and that kind of thing. And if not that, then perhaps if you are offering a service, maybe a few hours of your service or an hour of your service or whatever. It's really rather personal. I am all about barter, and I barter what I can. For all of my websites, I do barter software pack or file packs that I've put together. And I also barter as a sign language interpreter and an empowerment, all the things. I barter everything. Now I've made a lot of changes and I really like them all. So now I'm going to save my changes. It's going to ask if I want to publish. Let's go ahead and do that. And then we are going to connect the menu one more time, just so that you can see how customizable everything is. Okay. So we're going to come back up to this menu bar, just the same way we did before. We're going to, oh, you know what we've got to do is we've got to change the colors if we choose to for our header and footer, but I actually don't think I want to, because I've got quite a bit of black in here, and what I would do here in this, we proudly offer services to customers in different areas, is I'll come here and maybe add coaching, mechanics, and jewel artists, okay, and put 3 different genres in here. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm just going to I'm going to change the image to, say, for example, I'm going to change the image to, let's just say, coaching. I'll come down here and find a picture, if I have one, of somebody that looks like, oh, okay, we'll do fitness people, okay, and fitness coaches. Let's just use that picture. That's how you could change. And then this is the title. So this would say fitness experts. And then and I'll do that. Okay, so that's fitness experts. Okay, and that includes coaches. That includes people selling fitness equipment. I don't necessarily want to put myself in such a tight hole to say only fitness coaches, fitness experts, right? Health and nutrition experts, like that. And that opens up the people who may get caught up in your search, right? Or get caught, who you are marketing to. So we proudly serve, first of all, let's spell customers correctly. That's important, right? Customers in many areas of service, in many areas of expertise. Okay, so maybe right here, I'm gonna put this down here for the moment. I'm going to adjust this picture to be maybe I might put maybe I'll put something like a picture of oh, here's one. Here's a chorus. So maybe we do musicians, okay? And then we'll put this choruses and choirs. Choruses and choirs, okay? And then, oh, but I want to take this image off of here, okay? The placeholder image that Cheetah had in here, let's take that off, okay? And then maybe I'm gonna take this off. Yep, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna then change this image to be, maybe I will put people who, oh, there we go. Outdoor enthusiasts. Let's see if we can do that easily. We'll just use this, okay, really, for the purpose of it. And then we'll put outdoor enthusiasts, okay? Just by clicking that 3 times, we'll get you the text editor, and we just put this, and we put outdoor enthusiasts, okay? And then we will, I'm not sure that's spelled correctly, and I will spell check that, but right at the moment, what I will do is put Builderall right here. And what you would do is just type in a little bit about Builderall, right? In this section. And I'm not gonna go into too much with that right now. Oops. But what I do want to do is click out of this text editor before I go places, because it will take the text with me. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna link the menu, and then we will be done with this tutorial. First of all, let's get our logo. We did that the same, we have already done this one time, so it will be very familiar. We're going to click on the edit pencil. We're going to go to change image. I really love my image for my business. So I'm going to use that. Besides, it's my business, so I really want to give it highlight, right? I want people to have the brand recognition. So I'm just going to edit this box so that it fits in that space well, without just trying to get to where I'm not activating another edit screen. Make that small enough to fit on that menu bar without overlapping and without losing any of the text that's valuable in my logo. Even though the customer cannot see it, I feel like it's valuable to have your logo as they're used to seeing it, even if it's in miniature. So why'd you take all the time to create a logo if you're not going to put its best foot forward? So now I can actually come in here and edit this image a little bit. Not edit the image, but edit the size of the image. Let me get out of there. There's a lot going on here. Let me see if I can, I don't think I can grab it from up here. No, I'm gonna have to come down here and then just click on it so that I can bring it out just a tiny bit. And you can see it's possible to do micro corrections in Cheetah. It's really nice. Now I'm going to go ahead and link the menu by clicking on the menu, clicking the gear shift, and doing the same thing that we did before. If you remember, we had an About Us section on this page, but let's just pretend that we wanted to have an About Us page and I haven't built it yet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and I'm going to link it to a page, and I'm going to link it to under construction. And that way, even if I finish this and I go get a snack and I get busy doing something else and I forget that I haven't linked that page, then at least my customers go somewhere and they have a way to contact me on my webpage. So that is another way for, you know, so they could contact me and say, hey, I can't get to this thing on your page. Okay. Or I come in and I do a quality check on my website and I realize I made this error. So same thing with services. I haven't created a service page. Maybe I'm gonna change that. Instead of services, I'm gonna say thank you. Okay, let's just pretend so that I can show you how to, or you know what I'm gonna do actually is I'm gonna call services by Builderall. And in another tutorial, I'll teach you how to actually set up a checkout in Cheetah, but it requires you to have a product in super checkout already, which we don't. So I'm just gonna add this label here. And then what I will do then is link that. Let's say that I would link it to a website and I wanted it to be www.builderall.com. And actually what I would do is this is what I would do if it was a Builderall thing. Instead of putting that URL, which I'm going to delete, I would come back to the Builderall home office. I would come to affiliates. I would get my affiliate link and I would copy that into the page that I am linking to. And that would take them to the Builderall purchase page, but I would get credit for the sale. Okay, so that's one way to manage that. And then let's say that the contact page, I haven't built that yet. So I'm just going to go ahead and link that to the under construction page. Okay, so I'm going to go to pages and go to under construction. Okay, and we're going to click on that. Now, we have built 2 web pages in this rather long, I admit it, tutorial, but we built a page from scratch. We built a page using the Smart template. We learned how to edit menus. We learned how to edit images. We learned how to edit text. We learned how to bring text into a web page. We also learned how to check our pages on our mobile devices. And we also went over the value of pre-planning your pages so that you get the right page for the person you're reaching out to, so that your page really functions in the best way possible for you. Okay, and it does what you want it to do. It achieves the goal that you set out to achieve when you started building this web page. So I realized that this was a lot of information, chock full of information, and I expect that you have got a project planned, and I look forward to seeing what you build with the information that you learned here today. I will include my digital marketing at carlalwarnock.com email address in case you have any questions. I'll include that in the description. So if you have any questions, you can just click that link and send that question to me. And I look forward to seeing you in future tutorials. Thank you so much for all of your time today. See you next time.